Welcome and merry we meet. My name is Brooks, the Witch of Sacred Iseum, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do a Bindrune protection spell. This is going to be a protection spell to shield yourself using a Bindrune. If you received my monthly subscription box for the month of November, you should have all of the items listed, and if not, I will be posting the items needed below. You can also pause the video if you want to take a look and read over this spell. I'm going to jump right in and go ahead and start going over the items needed for the spell. Depending on what tier of the monthly subscription box you received, some of the items might be slightly different. Here I'm using cone incense, frankincense. You might have received frankincense resin with charcoal or the stick incense. Either of those will work great. If you don't know how to use the charcoal and coal, keep an eye out for my short video with the how-to. If you don't have frankincense, feel free to substitute with any other type of incense that has protection attributes such as cinnamon or blessed thistle. Next, we're going to be using selenite, and then a protection oil. And again, if you don't have these items, you can substitute them for any stone, oil, or other items that have the same attributes. This is not part of the list, but this is a arrowhead made out of black obsidian, and I'm going to be using this as a carving tool, which is one of the items needed. You do need a carving tool. Arrowheads represent protection, so that's why I'm using that. You're also going to need a blue candle or black. In this case, I'm using blue. If you got the subscription box, it's already pre-dressed with herbs, but we're going to be dressing it again later on, so if you have a blue candle that's not dressed, no big deal. Also, we are using horehound herb. Again, if you don't have horehound, you can substitute for another herb. We will need salt. Everyone should have salt. And a bowl of water. And you just want to make sure that the amount of water in your bowl is about equal to the bowl that you're using for your hot dish that you're going to be using for your candle for the spell. I like to use matches for my spell work instead of lighters, so you'll need some matches. And let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to begin by charging my candle. So I'm just going to hold the candle in my dominant hand and be focusing on the energy of protection and what protection means to me while I put that energy into the candle. And then next we're going to be carving in the Bindrune. And it's going to be this symbol right here. And if you're not familiar with Bindrunes are multiple runes put together to create a completely new rune. So this Bindrune consists of 4 different runes: Ingwas, Isa, Agus, and Othala. So I'm going to go ahead and start carving that symbol into my candle. It doesn't have to, I'm pretty much carving it the entire length of the candle. It doesn't have to be that big. It can be small, it can be large. You can do a bunch of small ones, whatever you feel your intuition is guiding you to do. I am carving it in pretty deeply because I'm going to be dressing this candle with the protection oil and then filling in the carving with the horehound herb. This takes a little while, so taking my time, making sure that I, one, don't cut myself, but also I want my Bindrune to be perfect. And again, you can use anything to carve this. You can use a nail. A nail is a good thing for protection. A piece of broken glass. Be careful, don't cut yourself. A knife. Next, I'm going to be dressing it with the protection oil. And there's many different ways that we, as witches, like to dress our candles. I personally say do what your intuition is guiding you as far as how you personally want to dress your candle. I was taught and raised and have been doing it for about 30 years, dressing it from top to bottom to attract, bottom to top to banish or send out. Also from both ends to the center to attract, or starting from the center to the both ends to banish or send out. My cabin brother oils his hands, rolls candles in his hands. So everyone has different ways to do it. Again, follow your intuition, whatever guides you. I'm just going to make sure that my entire candle is coated with oil. After the candle's covered in oil, we're going to be dressing it with herbs. For the sake of the length of the video, I use the herbs straight out of the bag that you would have received in the description box. It will work better if you take the time to grind it up in a mortar and pestle and make it more of a powder. What I typically myself would do in the past is make my powder, mix that with oil. I still dress the candle with oil, but I would make a powder, mix it with oil, making a paste, and then push that paste into my carvings. So that would have added an extra 15 to 20 minutes to this video, which in editing would have just been sped up anyways. So here I'm dressing my candle with the horehound herb. And as you can see, it's pretty chunky and bulky, but it still works. It still pushes into my carvings. I did make my carving pretty wide and deep, knowing that I wasn't grinding my herb. So just food for thought. Whatever your intuition tells you to do. Just brushing off the excess. I don't want to have too much herb on my candle. That will create a flare-up. I am not against flare-ups. I do typically have my spell candles flare up, and I just allow them to burn down. Eventually the flare-up stops, or it doesn't, it just burns down quicker. If you are not comfortable with the flare-up, you can snuff out your candle. Please do not blow it out, but you can snuff out your candle, remove the problem herb that's causing the flare-up, and trim your wick, and then just relight the candle and continue your spell. Now I'm just melting some of the wax off the bottom into the bowl, so that way my candle can stand on its own freely. You don't need too much wax, but you definitely want to have a thick little petal. And go ahead and put your candle in there and hold it there for about 30 seconds to a minute until your wax hardens and your candle stands on its own. In your monthly subscription box, you should have received a thorn from a rose in your oil bottle bag. This is an optional item. I am adding it into my spell bowl as another symbol of protection. I like to build up layers of energy into my spell work, so this is just another layer being added. Now I'm lighting my incense, and as I light my incense, I will be saying, Element of air, I seek your protection, lend your power to my work and shield me. I'm going to use the smoke of the incense to smudge myself and my magical space, and then the bowl with the candle, while keeping focus on the power of air shielding me. If you watch any of my past videos, or if you receive my boxes with my spell work, you know that I personally prefer, when I'm using incense in my spell work, I will use the incense to smudge my space and myself, and any of the items that are going to be used for the spell. As I go along smudging my items, I'm in constant concentration of transferring energy from the incense, utilizing the power of air to create a shield of protection. And this again is just adding another layer of energy into my spell work and making sure that each of the items utilized in the spell share the same attributes as all of the items. So now all of the items are connected with the power of air. Next, I'm going to be lighting my candle. And as I light the candle, I'll be saying, Element of fire, I seek your protection, Lend your power to my work and shield me. Now, this is optional, but I do recommend it, again, the same way that we did with the incense, to utilize the flame to connect all of the items with the power of fire. So I'm briefly putting through each of the items through the flame, and you want to go fast enough to where the flame touches the items but doesn't burn it. And as you can see, I even do it to this bag of Horehound, which is a plastic bag. It does not melt the bag as I do it rather quickly. And again, it's just adding an additional layer of energy to each of the items, making sure that they're all connected to the element. Now you're going to take the bowl of water and add 6 pinches of salt. Then you will be stirring 3 times dial salt, which means clockwise. You'll charge the bowl with your intent, again focusing on protection, as you put each pinch of salt into the water. Once you have your final pinch in, go ahead and stir the water 3 times, and then you'll want to charge the water with your intention of protection while you say the following. Element of water, I seek your protection. Lend your power to my work and shield me. Now pour the water into the bowl with the candle. Go ahead and just set that bowl aside. Next, we're going to be taking the Horehound, or if you substituted it for a different herb, you're going to be putting in the herb into the water. I recommend first to put it into your dominant hand so that way you can charge it. And while you're charging it, say, Element of earth, I seek your protection. Lend your power to my work and shield me. And you can just continue to think this while you're sprinkling the Horehound into the water. You can either just continue to chant protection, protection, protection while focusing on the energy of protection, or you can continue to chant the elemental call. Element of earth, I seek your protection. Lend your power to my work and shield me. Now we're going to be taking the selenite, again charging it with your dominant hand, and say, Mighty Spirit, I seek your protection. Lend your power to my work and the powers of the elementals. Shield me from all that does not serve me, and from which is directed at me with harm, and from that which would drain me or weaken my craft. I am protected by air, fire, water, earth, and spirit. Ingvas, Essa, August, Othala. My protection shields my magic and my energy from all harm and negativity. I will be guided away from those who try to hold me down, and guided away from situations that do not lift me. I am connected with the magic of the old ways and the elements. I am protected. Next, you'll be stirring energetically the water with the selenite. Do not wet your selenite. And then I'm just continuing to focus energy into my spell. Next, I'm going to take the selenite and energetically brush over myself the same way that you would if you're smudging yourself. I'm creating a shield of protection around my entire body from head to toe, including making sure that I go underneath my feet. This process does take some time because I want to be very thorough and cover every part of my body. So I'm speeding up this video for your sake. Enjoy the music while we wait. Okay, this next step is not part of the actual spell that I showed you or that you received, but I'm just following my intuition. I felt a nudge to go ahead and add some protection oil to the water, and I'm just again energetically stirring it in. I'm just going to spend another minute just continuing to focus my intention into my spell work, adding as much energy into it as I can before I allow the flame and the candle just to burn down and finish working its magic on its own. While I'm doing this, I'm just focusing on the power of protection. And that pretty much concludes the spell. I'm going to just go ahead and allow this candle to burn all the way down until the water snuffs it out on its own. If you want to see the progress of that, stay with me because I'm showing you the progress here. While I'm showing you the progress of the spell burning down to completion, I just want to go over some additional information with you. I want you to make sure that when your candle is all the way burnt down and gets snuffed out by the water, you can take the remaining part of the candle and place it into a small bag that you can either carry with you like a charm bag, or what I like to do is hang it by my entryway of my door, or while I'm working my spellcraft, I like to have it on my altar, especially since this particular spell is great at protecting me from outside energy, which is something that I definitely want to do while I'm casting spells or doing any type of magic. Also, going into next month's description box for the month of December, I will be posting a video for a health and rebirth spell, and that is going to be creating a spell jar. So make sure that you are coming back to check that out. And of course, if you are not subscribed or notified with the notification bell, make sure that you do that. So that way when I do post that video, you can go ahead and check that out as well. And I will be posting some additional videos that are going to be short videos in the short vertical format on just quick little tips and tidbits. One of them being on how to utilize resin incense and charcoal incense. I do get a lot of questions on how to burn charcoal, how to light the charcoal, how to utilize resins. So I am more than happy to show you that. And if you are interested and not a current subscriber, my link to my website is below in the description. Definitely check that out. That's going to initially take you to my store, my online store, where I have over 6,000 items for any of your witchy spell needs. And on the sidebar link, there is a link that takes you to the subscription boxes, where I have 3 tiers: a $25 apprentice box, a $50 chest, and a $75 Sabbath box. And those are either single purchases, or you can sign up for a monthly subscription box to receive magic to your door once a month and follow along with me when I do these spells on these videos. And here we are with the final ending of my spell. So merry we part.